Hello, I'm Debbie Danford from craftiercreations.blogspot.com. And this week I have been highlighting the Thankful Garden Bundle, which is the bundle that I am using for my catalog kickoff, which if you live locally to the Arlington, Washington area, you still have time to register for it. It will be on May 17th. And I'll put a little link below the video and stuff of how you can find out all the information on it. We're going to be concentrating on the Thankful Garden Bundle, like I said, and we're going to be making, well, I haven't finalized it yet. Somewhere between 6 and 8 projects probably is what we'll be making. So it's going to be a lot of fun. On Tuesday, I showed you, let's see if I still have it sitting here. We did this card here. So pretty. And we may make this card at the catalog kickoff because I just fell in love with it after I made it. I already have a bunch of other samples made that, and I've already written instructions, but I may pull one and put this one in. I don't know. We'll think about it. And then I even like how this one came out today. I just think so simple. So when we did the one on Tuesday, we used Stampin' blends to color with. Very simple. Today we are going to use the masks. So this bundle comes with stamp set, the dies, which I didn't grab them. I only grabbed the one that we're going to die cut right here. And I grabbed my little mini. And we're going to use the masks today. So we're going to go through that step. So let's go ahead and set this aside and what we have for our supplies. Didn't score that yet, so let me just score this really quick. This is a 5.5 by 8.5 piece of fresh freesia. We're going to score it at 4.25, and that's it. Easy peasy on the scoring. Okay, so there's that piece. And then we have a piece of Highland Heather that is 4 by 5.25. That's going to be our layer there. And we have 2 pieces of basic white. One is 4 by 5.25 for our inside stamping. And then our front piece is 3.5 by 4.75. Let me just double check. Yes, 3.5 by 4.75. And that's where we're going to do our stamping and all our little blending that we did here. Okay, so let's set these aside. Now, let me show you the colors we're going to use today. Use my words, Debbie. For the leaves, we're going to use Lemon Lime Twist and Old Olive. And then for the hydrangea, we're going to use Bubble Bath, Fresh Freesia, and Highland Heather. Now, I stamped it in basic gray. I wanted it to be a little bit subtler, if that's a word, a little bit more subtle, however I need to say that. Instead of stamping it in the black, which makes it pop out a little more, I just wanted the outline of it to just not pop out as much. But you could use the Memento Black if you wanted to. So let's go ahead and ink that up. And let me grab just a scrap piece here that I'm going to bring in. And I just stamped it right down here in the corner. And there's no, oh, it looks like I got a smudge on there. There's no right or wrong. You could stamp the whole thing if you want to do the whole thing. I just kind of wanted a little portion of it right down here. Just like that. And if you notice, I didn't put a phrase on this one. You certainly could. I just chose not to. I felt like I liked the simplicity of no phrase on the front, and I kept it like that. Now on the inside, there's what I did there. So I'm going to go ahead and pull in my inside piece, and let's just go ahead and stamp that at the same time. And I'm just going to stamp right down here in the corner, just a little bit of it. Okay. All right. So now what we're going to do is we are going to need, if you want to mark the little notches, you will need a pencil. So I don't usually mark, but I'm going to show you how you can, or you don't have to. So the first thing you want to do is line up your the mask, and we're using mask number 1 here. There's a little number up here. And the reason I am not going to mark this time, and yes, I could erase it. I just want to make sure I'm in my right spot. So as you can see, getting this all lined up. Now, you could put a little pencil mark right here. Yes, you could erase it then. I don't bother. But if you want to, you certainly can. Or what you can do, if you don't want to put a pencil mark on your blah, 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 your front, your main card piece here. Can't use my words today. So I'm just putting a couple marks like over here. Nothing major, but it'll help me line it up when I get to the next step. If you're worried about this shifting, of course, you could put a piece of washi tape to hold it down. I kind of just hold it with my fingers when I work. And I'm going to bring in, we're going to start with Bubble Bath, and then we're going to go to Fresh Freesia, and then the Highland Heather. So let me go ahead and bring in, there we go. Whew, that was a tight squeeze there. I'm going to slide the card out of the way for this hot minute here. Okay, we have Bubble Bath, Highland Heather, Fresh Freesia. These aren't marked, but I kind of pretty sure that's how they were in order before. All right, let me straighten this back out. And then I'm just going to ink this up. Again, we're starting with Bubble Bath. And I'm going to hold that in place. I always start off the edge just a little bit. And then we're just going to add some of that Bubble Bath. And yes, I moved it just a wee bit there, but I'm just going to put it back in place. There we go. And you can always lift it up and do a little peeksy here. Okay, that looks good. I like that. So now we're going to set this mask aside. We're done with mask 1. Now we're going to bring in mask number 2. And I'll tell you how I tend to line them up. I look for this little point here. Like if you're looking at it, it's going to be down here. And that lines up right there with that flower. And then everything else kind of lines up after that. Now remember, I did put my little pencil marks here and here. So that will help you get it lined up also. And if you did a notch there, depending on how you stamped it, if this notch is off, you know, onto your scrap, then you're fine. And yes, you can, like I said, you can put your little notch on your card front because it will erase off, but I just didn't want to do that. Okay, now we're coming in with the Fresh Freesia and mask number 2. Okay. I like it. It's looking good. Okay. Now we'll set that one aside. Now we're going to come in with mask number 3. And again, now this one's a little bit more difficult, to line up. I'm telling you, I cannot talk today. But I'm kind of going with where my lines are here and here. And then you can see how these all fit into those little tiny areas to give us that last layer. And now I'm going to use the Highland Heather, starting off a little bit and then coming in on top. Okay. And there we go. There's what that looks like. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in, now we don't have a whole lot of leaf showing this time. I think I had a little bit more last time, but that's okay. So I'm going to bring in the mask for the leaf. Now there's 2 leaves on here. This is for the poppies, and then this this one is for the hydrangea. At least I think the other flower is a poppy, but I could be wrong. I mean, I do like to garden, but I never claim to fame to be the know-it-all of gardening. Okay, and we are going to start, let's see, let me slide these out of the way. I didn't want to close them up yet because I still have to do the inside of the card. I forgot about that. And we'll do that here in a minute. So let's just do our lemon lime twist. Hopefully I didn't come down too far on this. We'll see as because I'm going to die cut that one piece out. At least I'm planning on it, unless I ended up down a little too far. And then we're going to bring in mask number 4. And we will do the old olive on top. And then there's our leaf. Okay, so there's all that. Now, we won't need the greens because there's no leaf on the inside. So what I'm going to do here, let's put these out of the way. Let's go ahead. I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to bring this back in. But first, I'm going to bring in a piece of the ribbon. Now, this is white. It just says white ribbon. I don't know why they don't like name each one, but anyway. And I'm going to cut a piece off and there they are. Couldn't find my ribbon scissors. We are going to color this, and I'm going to do that first. So, although when you color with the Stampin' blends, they're alcohol based, so it dries rather quickly. But I'm going to go ahead and color it first, just so it has a little bit of time to sit there. And I use the brush end, and I'm using the light of Highland Heather. You can use the dark if you want it to be darker, which pretty sure I used light. I don't even see the dark one out, but if I don't like it, we will color it again, or I will get out the dark, but I don't see the dark out, and I just made this card yesterday. So now with this ribbon, you do want to go front and back. So you do want to flip it, unless you like seeing some of that little bit of white showing through. Now this ribbon is very forgiving and, you know, very easy to tie. But a tip, when you do color it with the alcohol marker, it does stiffen it up a little bit. Not bad, but it does change the texture of this particular ribbon. Doesn't do it to all of them, but for some reason it does with this one. Okay. Yeah. It definitely took on a new color, which this is the same one I used yesterday. So I must have used the dark, I guess. I don't know. Let me pull it out. I don't even have it out, so I'd be shocked if that's what I used. But let me see what this... So we're just going to go over it quickly. Okay. I don't know. Looks different today. I have no answer. Okay. Let's bring these masks back in really quick, because what we're going to do is the inside of the card. So let's see. This is going to go like that. Like I said, I always kind of look for the ones that line up here and here. And then we're going to bring in the bubble bath. Add our ink there. Okay. And you don't have to do all 3 layers for the inside if you don't want to. You could just stop right there. I mean, you could do 1, 2. I mean, you don't have to do them all. And let's bring in mask number 2. And then mask number 3. And that one is going to go, it's going to be a little bit harder to line up mask number 3. There we go. You just have to move it around. You just have to realize when you're using these masks, they don't line up vertical like we would have thought. You kind of have to, and depends on how you stamp your stamp too, but because there's 2 sets of masks on here for both flowers, you do have to end up turning it sideways. Okay, so there's that one. The only thing I'm going to do is take a little bit of the petal pink, and I'm just going to soften it up around the edge here. And it is very light. You probably can hardly see it. And you could use any color to do that. All right, now let's go ahead and close these up so we don't drop anything into our ink pads and then ruin our card. I've done that a time or 2. Okay. Now, what we need to do, so all our stamping is done. As it's drying, it's getting a little bit closer to that color. Okay, I'm going to bring in, what we want to do now is we are going to die cut this piece right here. And boy, yeah, we are close to the edge. Dang it, Debbie. I should have went up a little bit more on that. Well, we're going to try it. Okay. So we're going to bring in our mini. Oh, let's hope this fits. Yay! I knew the die would fit. I wasn't thinking about the fact that I needed to make sure the card fit. Okay. I'm going to hope. So stamp up a little bit further in that direction. Let me slide this up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully I got everything in the camera. And I am like right on the edge there. So we're going to see how this turns out. I mean, I could raise it up just a little bit, then we'll be off. Okay, I'm going to hope for the best here. But you'll get the idea if... All right, and let me see what we got going on here, because we want this like this. Yeah, I think it's going to be really close to the edge, but it's okay. Well, I think I did it. Woohoo! All right. And it moved a little bit. So I'll be honest, I would redo this because it moved a little bit here, but I'm going to go ahead and assemble the card because I don't want you to have to watch me do all of this masking all over again. But then all we're going to do is assemble here. So let's bring in our adhesive. That's going to go on here. Whoops, 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 whoops. Ribbon, 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 ribbon. Almost forgot our ribbon. So let's put our ribbon on right here. Across the top. And like I said, you could stamp a phrase, or you could stamp a phrase and you know, die cut a shape, or any of those things if you want to put a phrase on here. So there's that. Here's our card base. Now I'm using the Stampin' Seal Plus. It's usually my go-to. Either I use the Stampin' Seal Plus, if I can get it to work here. I usually use Stampin' Seal Plus or the Mono green glue. Those are kind of my go-to glues. Okay, this is going to go here like that. Now we're going to take this piece that shifted a little and we're going to attach it to the front with dimensionals, because we're going to puff that little piece up just to give it a little bit more dimension there. Okay, so there's some of those. Let's get our Take Your Pick tool. Okay, there's that. And then this is going to pop up right here. And like I said, I'm not happy with how it moved, but you can't hardly really tell once you put it back on. And I am going to paint it with Wink Stella just to pop that little portion up. And who doesn't love our Wink Stella? There's that. And then let's go ahead and tie our little half bow here. And trim our edges a little bit. And we'll bring in our Starburst sequence. And let's just put a couple of these on here. And let's do one more like up there. And let's add our inside piece, and then we will be done. It's really not hard to use the masks. It is just a little bit more time consuming, but not bad, honestly. Once you kind of get your colors picked that you want to use, I feel like it goes pretty quickly. And we even did the inside also. So, okay, there you go. So there's our two cards. I think the light would have been fine. It just needed to sit and dry a little bit, and I think that's what changed the color. But the dark looks good too. Either one of them look good. I love how they turned out. I just love this, excuse me, so much. I love the simplicity of how the card layered up and just how easy it is to do the masking. Like I said, if you wanted to add a phrase, you could, but I kind of liked not having a phrase because I thought about putting something up here with a phrase, but I just left it blank. And then you can always write your sentiment on the inside. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Please do me a favor and follow. If you don't follow me yet, I would love it if you would follow me. Share it. I would love it if you shared the video. That would make me so, so happy. We do have a new catalog that's coming out, or it's already out, I should say. People should, if you were already on my customer list or in my monthly club, you would have already received one. If you don't have a demonstrator that you work with or you didn't receive it yet, please let me know and I'll be more than happy to get a catalog sent to you. And let's see, one last quick note. We do have an ordering special coming up Friday and Saturday, which is the 2nd and 3rd. We have double the rewards points. So if you're not familiar or haven't set up your account yet, we have a reward system now, and it starts at $20, and then you earn 10% of your sales after you hit that $20, then it builds from there. So if you spend $40, you would hit, you would get 10% back, which would be $4. But those 2 days, the 2nd and 3rd, Friday and Saturday, because of National Scrapbooking Day, Stampin' Up! Is doing double the rewards. So that means you get 20%, almost kind of very close to like when we do our free shipping. Our shipping is $7.95 or 11%. this is double rewards. So the double rewards, then you'd be building a little bit quicker than normally, and you'd be able to use them down the road on maybe something bigger or more product. So keep that in mind. 2 days only for in lieu of or in honor of National Scrapbooking Day. We are doing double rewards, 20%. And if you don't have an account set up yet, all you have to do is go create an account. The link will be there. Because then you can pick your demonstrator, but I'll have a link below that will direct you right to my link. And then you opt in for the rewards, and then you'll start earning, and then they show up in your account. Now, if you have any questions about that, please don't hesitate to reach out and ask. Once you set it up, it is really simple. You just want to make sure you opt in to get the rewards because you want to start earning rewards. All right. Well, that's all I have for today. I hope everybody has a great rest of their week and you have a great weekend, and I will see you all again next week. Bye, guys.